Talking about diplomatic considerations, India is trying to pull off a balancing act yet again. The West wants it to help turn Russia into a pariah. But India is still trying to keep a foot in the door. Indian soldiers are participating in a major drill in Russia. These are war games. Do you know who else is participating? The People's Liberation Army of China, the PLA. A total of 13 countries are participating. We have a list: Azerbaijan, Algeria, Armenia, Belarus, India, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Laos, China, Mongolia, Nicaragua, Syria and Tajikistan. Russia's intentions are quite clear. It wants to show the world that its military still remains strong, and despite the war in Ukraine, Russia enjoys military support from multiple allies. But what's in it for India? Why is India participating? And what about China's participation in these exercises? Should Indian forces be there at all? Our next report tells you about India's tricky balancing act.
This moment was a big diplomatic coup for Russia. Today, militaries from 13 countries gathered in Russia's far east. Some 50,000 soldiers, 140 airplanes and 60 naval ships are part of these drills. For the next 7 days, they'll be engaged in wide-ranging drills. This is how they kicked off day 1. The Indian military has also sent a contingent. It isn't even the first time India's defense forces have taken part in this exercise. But this could be their most awkward engagement. The first problem is Russia's intensifying battle with the West. Russia is using these drills to embarrass the US and allies.
Today is a significant event for our countries, for our armed forces. The Strategic Command and Staff Exercise Vostok 2022 begins. An event of this magnitude is unique in many ways. The scope of the exercises, the composition of the participating states, the number of personnel, weapons and special military equipment involved indicates the increased role and importance of the joint training of our armed forces.
Moscow is gaining more than that from these drills. Russia is signaling the West that it still has strong and loyal allies. The People's Liberation Army of China is among them. And that's the other worry for India. The Chinese forces have sent over 2,000 troops for these drills. China's presence has made India's position more tricky. That's because Russia and China plan to conduct a provocative drill during these exercises.
Our Pacific Fleet, jointly with the Chinese People Liberation Army Navy, will practice joint action in the northern and central parts of the Sea of Japan in the far eastern maritime zone to assist ground troops on the Primorsky direction and to protect sea communications as well as areas of marine economic activity.
The exercise in the Sea of Japan has alarmed Tokyo. The US has been concerned too. In a statement, the White House signaled that India's participation bothers them. What was New Delhi's response? India tried to reassure its Western allies.
That India has been regularly participating in multilateral exercises in Russia, along with a number of other countries. I understand there will be only army participation in the Vostok exercises this year.
Yes, it is only the Indian Army this time. India has chosen to stay away from the maritime component of these drills. New Delhi hasn't sent any warships for these drills. India's participation remains restricted to just 2 areas: strategic command and staff drills. Experts say this selective participation is an attempt towards striking a balance. India wants to keep Russia within its sphere of influence, but at the same time it wants to avoid hurting Japan. But it also reveals the limits of India's multi-alignment approach. The plan seems to have worked for now, but as Russia gets closer to China, New Delhi will remain under pressure to pick sides.